This is a question about the significance of bone breaking and why it's a thread through the whole show.
The bone breaking part of it, I mean, that's just because a lot of the dancers, those dancers have that dance style, and they're able to do it, and they're able to speak a certain vocabulary with that bone break. All the bone breaks are different. It's just it's kind of compared to a breakdancer spinning on their head maybe, or doing a powerful move. But each one is different. Like they break their bones in a different pattern. Like Time, for instance, he's born the way he is. You know, it's pretty much easy for him. And Scort, for instance, his bone will actually break out. You know, and then it'll come out of socket, and then yeah, you do. You'd be like, okay. But I mean, of course, they had a lot of training behind it. But and again, bone breaking is also about breaking down your body and reconstructing yourself and becoming someone that you didn't know you can be.
And the beautiful thing about it is, again, like any great piece of art vocabulary, you can say anything with it depending on how you say it. And so the bone breaking is, like, at moments the most horrifying. You feel it in your own body how horrifying it is. And at other moments it is the most graceful, breathtaking, delicate, metaphysical, triumph of the soul over the body, or the spirit, leaving the body, or something transcendent and poetic, or it's the killer cop who's a one-man tank and can shoot in any direction. It's like gives you all of those possibilities, and it's the same move, but you can articulate it in all these different ways and have this incredible range of emotion.
Does it feel different to be dancing or seeing? Maybe, Peter, I'll just ask this to you because you're out in the audience watching. Do you feel like more nuance comes through? And how does it feel, more theatrical, or anything that's different about being in this stage?
We get to watch this in rehearsal, so we're really up close.
Yeah.
We are so up close with all these artists. So it's, in a theater, any theater's too big. Just because we're so used to being in the rehearsal room where we're right there with each other. So, but it is all film detail. So everything's a close-up. Everything's a close-up. And at the same time, the big picture is so alive all night long. The big picture never goes totally still. It's always, there's life in every corner. Yeah. And so it's just the life force of it. And one of the most important things is when you're telling difficult stories, and that's, again, the African-American tradition, you tell it with the maximum amount of joy. There's just this incredible life force that can't be stopped. And that's what you feel all night long, just surging through the stage, surging through the people.
Yeah, I really felt the arc of the whole evening, from the stories in the beginning, which were, again, really beautiful and so authentic, to the very end, where it kind of didn't really end. It's like you guys just hung around. It's really hard.
But it doesn't end on purpose, and the African tradition is no piece of music ever begins or ends. It always fades in and it fades out because we just tuned in at a certain moment, but the tune will never end. And it's all about something that does not begin and does not end. That's why the show has no beginning. Like, everybody's hanging around, and then after a while, there's a show. But there's not a moment where that happens. And at the end, there's not a moment where the show ends. It just keeps flowing, and you just get this flow of life that reaches right through it and right across it. And that's because, the dance is actually life itself, not like a show that you just applaud at the beginning and the end of. It is this giant wave of life.
I'm curious about how the score came together. Epic B was the DJ, and how, did you guys all work together on the songs? Because the lyrics actually are pretty powerful, and they add this text layer. So, Peter, were you involved in the score at all, or how did that work?
I'm going to hand this back to Reg.
Okay.
No problem. So the music process is, it's fairly simple because the dancers got a chance to actually pick their own music. So they get a chance to dance to the soundtrack of their life, in a sense. The music there is honestly there for a guide to show the emotion and the feeling behind it. But when you watch the dancers move and what they do, there's a whole other story. So once and of course some words are there just for for hangers to say, okay, this is what this is, this is what this is. But the emotion behind the move and then the whole actual play out of the scenes are just, they're different from what the lyrics actually say. The music is really there for the feel. And you know, Epic B, of course, he started. He's also a producer, so he made some beats for us, like the you know, he made those powerful beats for us to just always have like a drum war or something, really feeling like it's about to be extremely powerful. So, and he's a talented producer, and it's just, it all came together that way.
Oh, so this is about the ensemble work, which I love when it bursts out in the beginning. Isn't that exciting, Peter? Do you just get like, oh man, it's so
It's
good?
the best beginning of any show ever.
It really is. It just begins.
That's this man's
and then
genius.
It begins,
It's this man's
And then
genius.
it begins. Like it has. Like
And it moves from all these random solo things to everybody suddenly,
Yeah.
like 5 people pick up the move, and
Yeah.
then 10 people pick up the move.
So who
and
chor-
then everybody stops and something else happens, and then suddenly everybody has the same move with no warning, and it's like so beautiful.
So did you choreograph that, or did? Oh, okay. And then what was it like doing ensemble work? Because that is not improvisation. That is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we definitely have a lot of choreography also, but we just use the flex moves and the foundation to actually create that choreography. So there's a lot of foundational moves that FLEXN has because of the culture of it, and that's the dance hall and the reggae and those beats, like, you know. So with those moves, everyone can actually do together because those are celebration dance moves for everyone, and people do that inside of any club, you know. So we all do those things together. But then there are some moves that we'll say, okay, well, let's do a little pause move. So I'll do a little boom, 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 and then everybody catch the little doom, 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 and we'll go from there. And then it's just honestly just inspiration through the topic.
It's a question about the history of flexing and the history of hip hop.
This is not made in the halls of commercial culture. This is actual deep-rooted grassroots culture made in neighborhoods from people who have something to say to each other. Yeah. And it's so not made by big producers and all the stuff you see on MTV. You know, and so it's not related to those histories, which is what gives it its power. Because all those other things are just style, and style by itself is so empty. You just can't believe how empty it is. And what you get here is people looking at all that television and saying, okay, that is so uninteresting. What do we do that puts the real, actual grit and taste of life in that? And what is speaking to us, each other, what do we care about? And what is cool for us? How do we actually want to move ourselves? And so that is really defining yourself against the commercial culture rather than with it. And that's what you're seeing tonight, and that's what gives it a power you don't feel from Hollywood show business and what would never be allowed on America's Got Talent. Movement in dance right now is storytelling and having political intelligence behind it.
Well, that's why flexing belongs at the Pillow. So.
And we're grateful Jacob's Pillow exists.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thank you.
When me done, you get 4 milk in your yaya, cut your throat to make sure you don't have me name no more. What a predicament you go get yourself in. Don't start war and know say you can't win. Remember when me born a gunshot cut me navel string. Don't call me name no more. Yeah, who's the whole I know I feel further away. From now you better have me as your enemy. All I know where you try to get rid away. I go sick away, I go sick away. What's the whole I know I feel further away. From now you better have me as your enemy. All I know where you try to get rid away. I go sick away.